My name is Alex Mišković. I'm the president and CEO of Terra Balcanica Resource Corp. Terra Balcanica Resource Corp is a junior Canadian company operating in Europe. 350 square kilometers of land tenure in Bosnia and Serbia, two emerging and underexplored jurisdictions at the doorstep of a continent that's badly starved for resources. We have drilled for 2 years in a row. We have intersected massive high-grade silver mineralization close to surface on one of our targets at the flagship project called VRIC in Bosnia, and also discovered a multitude of different mineralization styles at the other target called Brezheni. In Serbia, we have not drilled yet, but the potential is high with high-grade gold on surface. Pretty soon an entry into a battery metal exploration space in the region, and very affordable at this point. So this was the phase 2 drill program on VRIC, our flagship project in Bosnia. Our group of licenses, consisting of 3 licenses, is centered upon an existing mine that produces 350,000 tons of lead, zinc, silver, gold, antimony concentrate. During the first year of our existence, we have done a meticulous, detailed, careful job of defining targets, and then back in 2022 and 2023 drilled about 2,500 meters in each year to drill test and confirm mineralization on both Čumavići and Brezheni. So last year was just a continuation of our work from the previous year. We have extended the strike length of high-grade silver mineralization on Čumavići, one of the targets. And on the second one, the Brezheni, we have intercepted porphyry mineralization at about 600 meters depth. Intercepted something that was unknown to us previously, which is this an interval of intermediate sulfidation, lead, zinc, silver, gold, massive sulfides, and of course confirmed the extent of skarn gold type of mineralization that we found on surface. So very exciting times now, and all the hard work that was done initially proved to be worthy of further exploration. The more you scratch, the more you find. So we've defined during the initial prospecting phase that lasted about 12 months. So this is September 2020, September 2021, 3 primary targets. One, as I mentioned, is called Čumavići. This is a fault-hosted, 45-degree dipping body of massive sulfides. These are lead, zinc, silver, antimony sulfides with a little bit of gold, so truly polymetallic. Very shallow, close to surface, only about 25 meters below the surface. So the geometry is very simple, and we have basically now confirmed not only the primary target called Čumavići Ridge, but also another target called Joševa. There are 3 outstanding targets along this corridor that's 7.2 kilometers long that we still haven't drilled, which leaves so much potential and upside for the company to add that key tonnage that makes a silver project interesting. And that's exactly what we plan to do in the coming years. 12 kilometers to the southeast on the Brezheni target, we have discovered retrograde gold skarn on surface right from the beginning to the tune of about 90 meters below surface. We have gold grades that are very interesting. But the primary reason why we focused on Brezheni in the first place was the promise of finding a porphyry copper mineralization, which so far in Bosnia has not been heard of. I think we've done that. We have intercepted porphyry at about 550 meters depth, all the way down to 670, which is where our drill stopped. On the way down, as I mentioned, we have also intercepted a zone of about 25 meters of massive sulfide mineralization, which I think is basically a manifestation of a mineralized fault that separates the hanging from a footwall. So I call it at this point a polymetallic multimodal or polymodal target that is really interesting because we can tap the gold on surface, intermediate sulfidation horizon in the middle, or the porphyry underneath. There are so many other things to look at VRIC. Again, as I mentioned, the mine is centered right in the middle of it. The style of mineralization that is currently mined is very similar to Čumavići's, which makes our strategic position that much more interesting. As they slowly deplete their resource, we are building ours. This is a private mine operated by a British entity called Mineco Ltd. So all of those things make for a very interesting project, and we are excited to just basically at this stage carry on with drilling. I think the prospecting and the targeting is done. Right now it's just adding those key tons, expanding the footprint both in X, Y, and Z direction. So in Serbia, let's not forget that we are a multi-jurisdictional explorer. We also have properties in Serbia, 130 kilometers squared, divided into two different licenses, one called Kaludra, the other one Ceovište. I'll speak of Ceovište in particular at this point. Ceovište is very interesting because historical work done by the French in 1939, at least according to the Yugoslav archives, have unearthed some very, very high gold grades, only about 20 meters below the surface. I'm talking 500 grams per ton gold and silver in these quartz and arsenopyrite on echelon sets of veins. We have done some superficial work, collected superficial samples that run up to 2.5 ounces of gold on surface, all of which indicated to us that, okay, this area is very ripe for further advancement and testing. And Q2 of 2024, this year, is precisely when we wish to do that. I think all the prep work, all the prospecting, mapping, sampling has been done now. It's a matter of just putting a couple of drill rigs and trying to intercept or skewer this system of on-echelon, high-grade precious metal veins close to surface, and then give some wind to the sails of the Serbian part of the portfolio as well. So this little tiny financing that we've just completed about a week ago was really meant to maintain the business operations of, and also to be used for acquisition of a strategic asset that we have been now working on for a year. So it's really not meant to be spent on the ground. We hope to be raising money at some point in the future to really fund our phase 3 2024 drill program. Money's being, at this point, we have hunkered down, minimized the expenditures and the burn rate to the bare minimum, aiming to position ourselves in a way that we can really then raise money on the wings of the announcement of that strategic asset and continuing release of the results from the 2023, all of which should then result in a situation where we actually are well financed for 2024. We don't want to stop. We think 2024 is the key year for us. It's a really inflection point for the company. We have been on these licenses for 3 years right now. We have right to hold them for another 4. But in my mind, there's no time to waste. Let's go and let's push ahead, both in Bosnia and, as I mentioned, in Serbia as well. So I'm very excited about that. I'm not going to reveal too much at this point. However, I will remind your audience that the Balkan Peninsula, the southeastern part of the European continent, or for those geologically inclined, the Western Tethyan Belt, is known as a part of the world that's rich in borates and lithium, as well as other battery metal critical elements. In Serbia, Rio Tinto has been advancing a project called Jadar, which is world's 3rd or 4th largest underground undeveloped lithium resource, with 79 million tons running at 1.8% lithium oxide equivalent. We believe that the neighboring Bosnia, being a relatively unknown, underexplored jurisdiction, offers precisely the same type of opportunities like Serbia. We've been working diligently from a geological standpoint to define an area that's of interest, and very soon hope to be in a position to officially apply for that parcel of land and see if we can replicate the success of Rio Tinto in Serbia. So yes, Terra Balcanica is after lithium. We are still in the process of defining it exactly, but once we get it, I think advancing it isn't going to be that expensive. These are, for those again who are not familiar with the lithium resources from the Balkans, these are Jadar type lithium resources, so they're sediment hosted. However, lithium is found in the borosilicates. It's not going to be difficult or expensive to explore. At this point, we'll explore by drilling and hope to do so exactly as soon as the license is granted. So Terra Balcanica is excited to continue with phase 3 drilling in 2024, primarily focused on the Vjegorzanik in eastern Bosnia, the 2 targets that I mentioned, high-grade silver target at Čumavići and a polydomain target at Brezheni. We're going to try to advance for the first time our Ceovište target in southwestern Serbia. And of course, with the acquisition of a new asset, dedicate some time and attention to that critical piece of our portfolio as well. Whether we're going to drill it or not this year remains to be seen. Obviously, we want to advance the already existing part of the portfolio. But, again, maybe, the beauty of the Balkans is that you can drill year-round. So the infrastructure is there. We're talking first world infrastructure. Availability of drilling crews is there throughout the year, and should we want, we can do so in Q4 of this year. So quite a busy agenda in the next 2 to 3 quarters ahead. I'm proud to be part of the CEO.CA community. Our forum is very active. I invite everybody who's interested in European exploration story to come and visit our forum. We are, proud Canadian explorer in an underappreciated part of Europe, I would say. Again, emphasizing the fact that we are operating at the outskirts of a continent that's badly starved for resources: lithium, nickel, cobalt, copper, zinc, all of those things Europe lacks. And we and companies such as us are poised to fill that gap and exploit that opportunity to the maximum. Operating in concert with Bosnian and Serbian authorities, full license to operate, and maybe for those, of course, financially inclined, we are at this point fairly affordable. So for all those wishing to take a position in the company, perhaps now is the time to do so. Obviously, in the upcoming financing, that's also a way to participate. So very excited. Team is excited to push ahead, and hopefully good times are ahead for our Terra Balcanica Resource Corp.